The National Archives' role in this project was to stabilize the document and make the Magna Carta look as clear and readable as it could. But at the same time, we had to design an encasement so that the parchment could be sealed up in inert gas to prevent oxidation and make it last as long as possible. Centuries, many, many centuries.
The National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is better known as NIST, is a research laboratory which is part of the Department of Commerce.
A lot of our experiments here at NIST go on in controlled atmospheres, which is basically what we're putting inside the encasement is a controlled atmosphere. Basically, we start out with a three-dimensional model that is created in computer-aided design software. We take that three-dimensional model into another program that takes toolpaths, and we can actually take that model right into the machine. We started with a 6-inch block of aluminum and machined 90% of it away. That gives us the opportunity to make this with a few joints or spots where there could be leaks.
I'll start out with a bigger tool to rough it, and in the corners the radius will be big, and I'll work my way to a smaller tool to get it to a point.
Machining out these pockets for weight reduction on this frame. I've got to take caution to make sure that everything's going right.
You want to do the document and I'll do the seal? Or
So there was that day when the platform came in. We had all been holding our breath, waiting to see would it fit just the way we wanted it to, which was without any strain at all.
We took a digital scan of the document without ever having the document in possession at NIST, and we were able to transform that scan into a shape to cut the platform exactly to match it.
I think we all agree that that's something that we'd like to improve the fit.
Yeah, I think we should probably just take that, offset this whole piece by 3 millimeters.
Brandenburg took it back to NIST, and when it came back, it was just fabulous. It was a fabulous fit.
When you need to be able to move this encasement, that's where our cart comes in.
The cart was a unique design to provide a platform for display. It had to be able to raise and lower the encasement when it's assembled at a display angle. So it had to be able to move very easily. It had to be able to be raised and lowered very easily.
well, it's important to have a barrier between the document and the platform, which is metal. And so what we have is a specially designed paper. We cut it out to very carefully follow the outline of the document. Because the paper is very white and the parchment is somewhat translucent, it actually brightens up the appearance of the document. The mounting system that we use for Magna Carta looks almost like a C-clamp, and we screw it into the platform. And then what it does is it holds in place a little Mylar tab that we made that's just rounded.
Wow.
So
it's not moving. Okay. Yep. It's perfect. Perfect.
We had to come up with a way to determine whether or not what was built was actually leak tight, then assemble it.
And then right there.
We then put in the seals, the O-rings. The conservators are responsible for putting the document onto the platform and putting it in place. And put the glass on top of this. And we then put a frame down on top of the glass that is bolted down to exert the sealing force. That sounded pretty good to me. It now has the document in there and it is filled with air. So we need to get the air out. And we do this by flushing it with high purity argon, which is completely chemically inert. That gas has to be humidified to a level that is consistent with the environment that the document has been in before. Purge gas, or the flush gas, goes in one side of the encasement, passes through the encasement, and exits out the other side. And when it does, it takes the ambient gas with it. We actually reduce the residual oxygen level in the casement down to the part per million level.
The museum world, as opposed to our world, is entirely different. It's almost like night and day. We really learn to appreciate the differences and the uniqueness of each other's environment. The thing that makes me so proud of being part of this is the fact that you can bring together two federal agencies, the expertise, the knowledge, the skills, and really do something tremendous.